Welcome to the OAC TV broadcast. I'm James Zervios.
And I'm Christy Kuna. We are so excited to be broadcasting you live from a sneak peek at our to be under construction convention set, because today's episode is a convention takeover. We're very excited about this.
All things convention, as you'll see behind us. We'll even share some of these items with everyone watching as we get into it more. But this is our 10th broadcast, and you're going to hear a lot about the number 10 throughout the broadcast
because
today.
As the convention takeover, convention itself is also celebrating 10 years of existence from starting the annual meeting. So lots of fun is in store today as we really dig in and give you guys viewing at home, whether you've been to the meeting before, you're thinking about attending, or you're already registered. This is going to be a mix for everybody. It's going to be a walk down memory lane because we've had 10 years of great success with this meeting. But it's also going to be a great look ahead of what to expect, because it all starts this weekend for our annual convention. We have some great special guests too, who are going to kind of, be those that can tell you exactly what it's like. So,
kind of give more of that feel of what convention is all about, and especially for that walk down memory lane. As Christy said, we are days away from YWM 2021.
No stress, right?
It's so exciting. No stress at all. We'll start all this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Super excited for that to get kicked off.
And you're going to get a sneak peek today at the platform that we're using for the virtual conference, so you'll definitely stick around for that. But we're really excited, and even more excited, though, to say first hello to everyone tuning in live. And this is a different time. We're starting this 1 o'clock time frame.
A little bit of a shake-up.
Yeah.
But it looks like we still have a lot of people joining us today.
We do. Who do we have, James?
Well, so I see we have, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this correctly, Socorro from Mexico. So welcome to the OAC broadcast.
And we have Jay Daniels joining us from Alexandria, Virginia. Welcome.
Jean from North Carolina. Welcome, Jean. And
we have Laura joining us from Niles, Michigan. I think Laura is a fan favorite of ours here on the broadcast. Attends pretty much every one of them.
Absolutely. Every one of them. It looks like we even have Carl from Louisiana. So welcome.
We had a convention in Louisiana.
We'll
talk about that.
I'm trying to see if we have the Louisiana one up there.
This one.
Right
this
there,
New Orleans. So these are our shirts that we've had from past years. We're going to jump into that. But keep the conversation going in the chat because
we have some amazing giveaways, as we always do some amazing giveaways on this show, but today is very special for them. We're actually doing 4 giveaways. We're doing 2 tickets to the YWM 2021 Convention Connect with the Experts session. Those are special sessions beyond the registration. And speaking of registration, we're also giving away 2 full convention event registrations at a value of $50 each.
So 4 giveaways, pretty remarkable. So keep the conversation going in the chat, but we're going to dive into some updates first before we jump into all the fun to come today.
Yeah, so there, beyond convention, which is all things convention right now, but there's always other things going on as well. So, on the advocacy front, one thing that the OAC was recently a part of was a sign-on letter with the Obesity Care Advocacy Network. You probably hear us refer to that all the time as OCAN. And this was a very important letter because it was to the CMS administrator asking them to update their Medicare obesity care policies. And this is very, very important, especially as the obesity treatment landscape continues to change. And in addition to that, and kind of couples along with it, is the Treat and Reduce Obesity Act, TROA. And so this is something that the OAC advocates for on a daily basis, but we always need you guys sharing your voices with your legislators. And we ask you to please do that by visiting obesityaction.org/TROA, that's /TROA, and contact your legislators today. In addition to that, we also have a Stop Weight Bias update. So
lots of excitement with that campaign.
The campaign, the campaign launched in January, and we've really been blessed every other month or so to kind of bring something new. And in fact, in about a month or so, we're actually going to have another very exciting thing that we're going to be debuting. So stay tuned for that. But just this past June, just a couple weeks ago, we were able to take part in a satellite media tour. And so OAC President and CEO Joe Naglowski and our chair, Patty Neese, as you can see on your screen, participated in more than 30 national interviews with stations all across the U.S. What you're seeing here is a clip from Fox Rochester. And so Patty and Joe participated in all of these interviews, and this was just an unbelievable opportunity for the OAC to raise awareness of the Stop Weight Bias campaign and to really get the message out to the general public. And for those of you watching, if you're not familiar with the campaign or you want to learn a little bit more, you can go to stopweightbias.com today and you can check it out.
Yeah, the campaign that was truly exciting to see so much press coverage of that campaign. That's why that campaign exists, is to get that message out there. So that was really cool to see. Busy day, I remember when that was happening.
Yes, and we had the privilege of going into DC. It was the first time many of us traveled in a very long time, but I think again, that to be able to do those interviews, it gets to the people that need to hear it, to the general public. That campaign is meant to change public opinion of weight bias, and so an excellent opportunity for OAC.
Good to see that momentum continue. As James mentioned, we have tons of other things going on aside from what's the news today is our convention, but all the more reason to stay tuned to all that we do. But today, we are devoting this whole broadcast to really talking about our annual convention, looking back, looking at what's ahead too. So as we mentioned, our virtual conference kicks off this weekend, July the 17th. I can't believe the date's already here. It's all kicking off at 1 o'clock Eastern, and it runs all the way through July 25th. So we have the weekend events that are our live sessions. We have, I think, more than 12 topics that are presented with that. 20 presenters, because we have special events and things happening during the week. Convention.com or YWMConvention.com is going to be your site that you get all this great information from to dig deeper, but we'll give you some highlights today. And as we mentioned, we are celebrating 10 years of hosting this meeting. It started in 2012. We're going to actually, later on in the broadcast, talk to our original chair of convention, Amber Hewitt-Garcia, as well as our current chair of the convention, Pam Davis. And so that'll be a great conversation to kind of walk us through kind of these 10 reasons why you need to attend. So hopefully by this you'll get a full picture of what it is. But we usually host this meeting in person, but we're still kind of running in the virtual environment. Our hope is to be in person next year. We're aiming towards that. We'll have more details on that to come. But for those who have not yet registered, you can still register for conventions. So throughout this whole broadcast, if you haven't gotten registered, now's the time to do it. We are so blessed to have a free option to attend for just the live session. So if you want to take part in all the live events, you certainly can just go and sign up for the free registration and see everything live at the same time, as you can chat as well with fellow attendees, which is really, really cool. We also have a full convention registration option that is only $50, and that's really designed for you to watch on your own time. Then you get access to a lot of those bonus sessions we'll talk about, as well as after-hours access to other events as well. And then, of course, we have awesome CE credits that we're offering this year, up to 16 CEs for nurses and some health professionals, which is pretty unheard of. And that's only $90. So we try to keep this really attainable and accessible, because really the point of convention is to get that needed education out there for those who really need it.
You know, Christy, I think that's such a good segue to the next part of this convention takeover, a special edition broadcast, is why do we do a convention every year? And I think, we reminisced after 2012 when we were in Dallas. I'm looking for...
I think we lost room.
We lost room for the shirt. But we were talking about that originally convention was very much an educational focused event. And then we went to Dallas, a freak cold front came through. I remember that. It was just freezing. But after we came back and we all debriefed from convention, we realized that something else actually kind of magically came out of that.
Yeah, so I think we went into this great educational program and we had some fun events as well. But then when the attendees came, truly that's what's defined the meeting from the very beginning. We were not really planning on the robust community that was developed naturally from just being at the meeting. And so it's been so remarkable year over year to see that continue. Even in a virtual environment, I'll say we were virtual last year and we still felt that sense of community. So truly this meeting over time has become what you all make it to be. And it is about education, but it's also about the support that we know is so important in anyone's journey wherever you're at. So that's so important for us, and that continues and will continue as our commitment. We have a great host of volunteers who are at the helm of this event. We have a great staff, so it does take a lot of energy and time, but so well worth it, because that it really is for education and community.
Well, and this year, even specifically, I was looking at the agenda the other day, and there are so many opportunities, even beyond the education, but for folks to connect with one another, right? So not only in the chat, right? And I think we saw that last year. So many people connecting in the chat, identifying one another. Yes, I've experienced the same problem, same issue, or whatever. But there's even some special events this year for folks to kind of connect and get to know each other. And so that's such a core component, I think, now of convention that has really come out at the end of the day.
And a great reason to get registered yet if you haven't. So, but we're going to dive into a little bit of a walk down memory lane. So as we kind of look at this, For those who have attended, maybe share some of your favorite memories in the chat. We'll get to those. But we're going to do a quick little walk down memory. I have some slides prepared. But, you know, we're going to start from 2012. We have our Dallas inaugural meeting. As James mentioned, there was a freak cold front. You can see some fun photos. We did some staff skits and such in the expo hall. This tradition has continued throughout all of the events. The following year, we were in Phoenix in 2013. You see some group exercise photos. We always have that component in our in-person events. Awesome sessions. We do a lot on advocacy, since advocacy is a huge part of the OAC and our efforts. Then we were in Orlando, just down the street here, it seems, and again, lots of continued fun. We do a lot of other, at our events, do some engagement with the attendees where we're able to really get folks to kind of think a little bit beyond just the education, but think more about the impact on life and such. 2015, San Antonio, we were on the Riverwalk. That was so much fun. I remember that. And then we were rounded out in DC in 2016. What was really remarkable about this year, obviously it was very patriotic with our party. You can see some of those photos. But we did do hill visits when this took place. And that was really awesome to take our community members on the Hill to really work on those advocacy issues that we talk about all the time. So that was some great advocacy and action there. 2017, we mentioned we were in New Orleans, right off of Bourbon Street, kind of not so much in the mix, but still, everyone was really focused on some great education there, but a lot of fun. 2018, we found us in the Mile High City. That was in Denver. And, really great, again, unique event. Lots of folks coming from all parts of the country to all these different locations. 2019 was one of our favorites because it didn't let us travel too far because it was in our hometown in Tampa, Florida. That was a great time. Actually, see one of our special guests we're going to talk to in a moment is featured there, Jennifer Schulmeyer. But we are, that was a great Tampa event. And then obviously 2020, we were virtual last year, but I think we made the most of it. The attendees made the most of it. Our headquarters here in Tampa, where our studio is currently, we have turned it into a studio, so we are all prepared for all these types of virtual engagement events. So hopefully that was a fun walk down memory lane for everybody, and I know it sparked some memories for
Well,
you
it did.
too.
A couple things I thought of, Christy, as you were going through those pictures. So first, kind of makes you miss being in person, right? And we're going to talk. You're going to mention a little bit about next year,
Yes.
and we're going to get to that a little bit later. But the second thing that I really noticed in all those pictures, everybody just looks like they're having fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, again, at the end of the day, I've had the privilege, as others on staff here have, of being at every single convention from Dallas to even Tampa, and there's so much wonderful education, valuable education that is shared with attendees, and that they can kind of take with them and move on with in their journey. But the connectivity. Yeah. And you see the people smiling faces. They're seeing old friends and everything. And I think that really is kind of that heartbeat of convention, I would say, in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
And so it's great to see that in all those pictures.
Well, a couple reflections before we jump into our special guest to tell us about the attendee experience. But we have Debbie, who is sharing she cannot wait for this weekend. We love to hear that, us too. And Mary says that she has all those shirts except for the first one, which is totally fine. So that's pretty remarkable.
And it looks like Michelle says here, so many awesome memories and friendships over the 10 years. That I'm going to go out on a hunch and say that must be Michelle Vicari, past chair of the OAC. So yes, definitely.
Well, I think that we are ready to kind of talk to someone who is a longtime convention favorite, if you will, or attendee, someone who has come to several meetings to give you a little bit of that sneak peek from virtual to in-person. So we are so excited to welcome our special guest, Jennifer Schulmeyer. And Jennifer is joining us from Texas. Jennifer, so great to have you on our broadcast.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So, as you probably saw yourself in some of those photos that we have come across the screen. But I know that you came to your first convention, and since then you've made it a priority every single year. So, what is it that tell us about your convention experience and what has kept you coming back each and every year?
So, my first experience, actually, I came on scholarship, and it was absolutely life-changing. And so each year I come back and learn more, but most importantly to share with others. especially those who are struggling. I learn so much every year.
You know, I
Absolutely.
think, and Jennifer, I think when we talk about that, and you talked about the importance of the scholarship program, which has been amazing. It's allowed so many people to attend convention, and I think they leave convention with a lot of those memories and moments. What would you say, or can you think of one of your favorite convention moments? I know that might be a little bit tough, but is there one that pops in your head?
Absolutely. There was one of the years in there when I attended where obesity finally became recognized as a disease. And it was amazing. And it gave me the opportunity to learn more about what that looks like and what it sounds like, and to be able to share that with health professionals and other people in my life, especially at my local support group, so that people understand the difference between it's a disease and not necessarily what defines someone.
Yeah, and we know that coming to an in-person event, virtual is different because it's a lot more accessible, but coming to an in-person event presents a lot of barriers for folks. And as you mentioned, you came originally through our scholarship program, which we're so grateful. Actually, Amber Hewitt Garcia, who helped start that, is going to be on the line with us here after you, because that was her vision. But we think about the connections that you've made at these events each and every year. And I know sometimes it's tough to come to every single convention because it can be a little expensive in person. You have to take off time from work, family, and such. But how do you approach that each and every year to make the decision to come when it's in person? What are yours? How does that work for you when you think about attending and making those decisions to make it a priority?
I think for myself and my life right now, my health is one of my very top priorities. So it takes precedence over my work, and my family is very, very supportive. So if the timing is right and I have saved my money, which I try to do, then I'm off to the races and I'm going to attend. That is one of my number one things to do every year. And so it's at the top of my list. And plus I get to see some friends I've met since 2014. And so I love the learning.
Yeah. Long overdue, right? Some of this, I know that we're all kind of craving that in-person connectivity that we're going to make happen next year. So yeah, definitely we're making that a priority for us.
Yeah, Jennifer, if someone is watching right now, which we know we probably have some folks watching that haven't registered yet, and again, we know this year is virtual, next year we'll be back in person. What word of advice would you give to someone right now if they're kind of like, I'm not sure, is this for me? Am I going to learn anything? What would you tell somebody who's on the fence right now?
I think I would tell them, first of all, it's free. And then I would tell them you can be in your pajamas. But most importantly, there are people out there who are thinking like you think. You just may not know it yet, but even being able to hear some of those messages and learn from each other as well as the health experts, I think is the biggest gift. Because there's probably something you're going to connect to and it will be life-changing.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually think I hear that. I think I hear that every year, that somebody walks away from it and says, I didn't know that, or this resonated with me, or something like that. So I think that's a great words of advice there.
No, Jennifer, thank you so much for sharing. And like you said, the free aspect, you can't argue with it, right? It's a good price point. But we so appreciate you stopping by to give us a little bit of that inside look. So final thoughts for those viewing at home who are on the fence. So any final words of wisdom about our convention?
You won't be sorry that you attended. This is a great opportunity and the price is right. So come on out and learn and make some new friends.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Perfect ending. Thank you, Jennifer. So good to see you virtually. It's been a couple years, I know, but we're excited to see you again
soon.
Online this weekend and then also at our future events.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jennifer. It's good to catch up, right? Because
it
does. I think everyone's missing that, right?
And I think Jennifer's interview really sparked a lot of chat as well online right now. I know that Laura says when you invest in yourself, time and money, it will pay off in your life every day. We need the tools to make change. Michelle says last year was my first convention and it was amazing to connect even virtually with others. So I think you can, again, the connectivity and the human side of convention, you can just see how that transcends from a broadcast to a chat, and you can even experience that yourself this weekend. Again, if you haven't registered yet, ywmconvention.com, get registered.
Yes, and so I think we have a lot of great features in store for you, and we're going to take a quick walk through the event platform actually, which is exciting. So hopefully my feed is going to come up on the screen here. It looks like we are working perfect. So you guys are getting that first sneak peek at the official event platform. Those who have registered will actually get this a sneak peek in your inbox tonight, so you'll get your hands on this. But as you can see, we have a lot of great features on our platform. This year we have a great how-to video. The how-to video helps you navigate the platform, but we do make it pretty simple for anyone to be able to navigate, because I know sometimes it can get a little tricky. This year we're operating on 2 channels, so this is a new feature. We have breakout sessions that we're going to do, and these breakout sessions are happening on different channels, but each channel is going to describe what's happening easily. You can go to channel 1. Here on channel 1, you can see that this will be your opportunity to watch what's on this channel, do the live chat over here. You'll be able to ask a question as well to presenters, because we do live Q&A as part of that. What's important to note is that both channels are going to stream the same general session for each event. But then where it gets different is those breakout sessions. So you're going to want to pay attention to what is playing on the specific channel on that specific day. And to switch channels, which you can do at any time, which is fantastic, you can easily do it by switching the channel button here. And this will be the other feed that's going on. So really easy to navigate. And we also are giving you guys access to all the attendee materials with the speaker slides. We have a great program guide for you all. We have our Advocacy 101 series that we developed last year that's live there. Lots of great stuff. And our virtual expo hall this year, we have, I think, 19 vendors officially in our expo hall. Those vendors are a diverse range of companies that are giving products and tools and great incentives too for our folks, and exclusive discounts and such. So hopefully that gives you a pretty good glimpse of that. And when you do, if you do add on that full convention registration, you do get after hours access. And so over here as well, you will get all the access to the sessions on your own time and those special links to the events as well. So for those who did already register, you're going to get this. But if you haven't registered yet, do it now, and you'll get access to this later tonight just to poke around a little bit. Like I said, there's a lot of new things in store, so good to kind of get yourself acquainted with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think walking through that platform gives a nice kind of preview to folks of what they're going to experience. And the platform really is very user-friendly. And also, I heard you mention a couple things as you were going through it, like breakout sessions.
Yeah, it's different.
Right? So that's different this year, but amazing topics. Again, really no excuse not to register for this meeting, especially with all of the amazing things that OAC will be offering once again.
Yeah, so, as we give you guys that sneak peek, you might be wondering what's on our table over here too. Some of this is our walk down memory lane, but these are some you'll find old props from our James and I hold up Wilson. He came from a Friday night event that we did in person. If you attended
this was
that,
Denver, I think.
If you came to 2018, I think that was. All the lanyards. Show me your collection of lanyards from the meeting.
Well, yes. I mean, the one thing I'm very proud of is my collection of lanyards here, right? So, I mean, you got some obvious ones in here, like the staff, badge. That's a given. But then, OAC member. It's important to be a member of the OAC. Trained advocate. We've had a lot of those over the years. So, and then I know you got some over there too, but the pins, which I think
it's a collector's item
year
now.
2 and 3 were a good idea, but year 10 they start to weigh heavy on the neck.
Yeah. But no, so that's fun if you were kind of curious what's kind of behind the scenes over here. But we're going to continue this conversation with 2 of our very esteemed guests that we are so excited to have on. As mentioned, we have Amber Hewitt-Garcia, who is the original convention chair.
We're actually going to hear how she became.
Yes, there's a story behind
chair.
that.
Yes, story.
And Pam Davis, who's the current convention chair. Both of these ladies also have served as OAC chair as well, so they kind of have a lot of leadership that they have under their belt here with the OAC. But we're really excited to have them, and they're going to go through what we're calling kind of these 10 fun things you may not know about convention, or 10 fun facts, if you will. So I think we're going to have a little bit of fun in store here, and we're just bringing them up here, and hopefully this is live broadcasting TV here, so we're going to see that we have them on the line. But I do know that the chat is still quite busy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can see here, a lot of people are talking about the fun that they're having every weekend,
Yeah.
or excuse me, at the weekend of convention. And it is just nice to see so many people reminiscing about the on-site parts of convention as well.
Yeah, and I think we also have a lot of first-time folks in the chat that we're seeing, which
Yes.
is really, really awesome. And that's a great thing because there's a challenge we're going to have at the end of the broadcast to invite 10 people, because it's Spirit of 10 people to attend the convention by sharing on social media, but we will get to that. I think we have our guests ready for us coming on live. Yes, it looks like it. Yes, we have Pam and
Hello.
Amber. Welcome to the broadcast. Happy to have you.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes.
It's a good reason to get dressed up for work from home.
That's right. How are you doing, Pam?
Good. How's everybody doing?
Good, nice to see you guys.
Yes.
Good to see you all live and in person.
That's right.
Well, almost.
It's a sneak peek,
right?
Well, we're going to
Exactly.
we're going to leave this segment to the two of you because you guys know the convention better than anybody. Because Amber, you started it all these years ago, 10 years ago, and Pam, you are at the helm right now as convention chair. So, but maybe start, as James alluded to, there's a funny story about how, Amber, you became original chair of the convention. So I will let Pam tell the story because it's kind of her fault.
Yeah, my fault. Yes. So we were having our board retreat. I was the chair, and Amber was new on the board. And, we had been having this conversation about really wanting to have another opportunity to educate patients and the community and make sure that, they had access to this great information, research-based presenters, everything. And we were like, yeah, wow, but like, who's going to do that? Who's going to lead it? And Amber had stepped out for like probably less than 90 seconds. And we were all like, well, Amber's a teacher. She's got the summer off. She knows how to like educate people. Let's have Amber do it. And she came back in the room and we were like, hey, congratulations, our first convention chair. And she was like, well, okay. And look how great it's turned out.
And it just kept showing up.
Exactly. That's what you got to do. Show up every day for whatever it is.
No, I think.
Yeah, I remember. Oh,
No, go ahead, Amber.
sorry, I heard some. Oh no, Christy, I actually remember sending you an email. I guess it's probably been 12 years now, when I was a then advisory board before I joined the national board, and I was like, do you guys ever get together in person? So I kind of forecasted my own future that I wanted to make it happen. I was going to lead it, so end up being an experience of a lifetime. So I can't believe it was 10 years. I actually thought somebody made an error when they emailed me like, you want to talk about this? And I was like, oh, was that next year? So yeah, time definitely slipped by, but it's been a great 10 years. So,
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think a good way to pay homage to 10 years is you guys have put together kind of these 10 things that you may or may not know about the convention. And so this is going to be your opportunity. I know you guys have come up with your own, so we're curious to see what they are. But I'm going to pass the baton. We'll pass the baton to them, and you guys are going to do it best justice. So let's share your list with us. We're real excited to hear it.
Yep. Yeah,
Well,
let's kick us off.
Okay. So, you hear about like attending things or making purchases or doing something, and people say, oh my gosh, it's life changing. Like, this outfit's life changing. This pair of shoes is life changing. This cola is life changing. But our convention truly does change people's lives. And we have every year at the end, we all would get together and we would have an opportunity to share our experience from the conference. And when people would tell their personal story of the difference that it's made in their life, there's just literally not a dry eye in the room. And, one perfect example that comes to mind is Faith Ann Newsom. She attended convention when she was still in her teen years, and has gone through the stages of treatment. She's now studying in the world of obesity. She's created her own not-for-profit organization, and I mean, it has really blessed all aspects of her life by being a part of convention. And I had the honor to hear her give the keynote address to the ASMBS conference this year. And it's just amazing to see that. And that's just one story out of the thousands of people that have attended. So it definitely changes lives.
Yeah, I think Pam, I think more and more people come. I think our first year we had about 250 people attend. And, you know, at the time I was teaching elementary school and I was a national board member. And if I had not, you know, been involved in planning and they volunteered to bring me there, I actually don't know that I would have been able to attend myself, you know, as a young professional who had been, you know, working on my own obesity my entire life. It's definitely something I would have been interested in for sure. But early in those first few years of the convention, we saw that like having a convention wasn't enough. It wasn't accessible to get everyone there. And so the convention scholarship program is really something near and dear to my heart. And we've got great partners helping us that. We can't fund them all every year. I actually remember meeting Jennifer and hugging her at the registration line, and just the number of people who were able to come in person and us provide resources. It just means a lot to me. So I think, especially as we get in next year, you're probably going to hear more about that over the coming year as we work to build those funds back too.
Well, and I mean, certainly, as you mentioned, the scholarship program has just grown and grown, and hopefully, you know, through the continued donations, it will continue to grow more, because it's not only the person affected by obesity that should, could, or would attend convention. It really becomes a family affair. And I know I started bringing my husband a few years ago, and now he's like, he won't miss it. And Amber, you know, I've met your mom there. When you brought Parker and she had her little OAC onesie on, you know, I mean, it truly is, because our journey affects everybody in our lives. And, you know, this is one of the aspects that we can share with everyone.
Yep. And I think really to make the convention a place where it's great for families is that we take a really long time to plan out all of the details. I think a lot of people don't know it takes 10 months to plan. So everything from you know, the agenda and the topics and the speakers, making sure that we're addressing not only the individual, but family members and caretakers and medical professionals who come. I know you can get CE credits and continue learning as a medical professional, but you know, each year we ask you to fill out a survey. We take that really seriously, and we think about the time we're in. What do people need to hear? What's relevant to what's going on in the world? So I know about, you know, we've all been isolated. That's going to be really impacting our agenda. But I mean, down to the, you know, choosing the design for the commemorative pin and the T-shirts and, you know, the colors and themes. Like, we put a lot of thought into it because we know that the details matter. And I think that's I hope that comes out when you're experiencing it virtually, and then hopefully join us again next year in person.
Well, and you know, there's, I feel like that at no previous time have we ever had our voice better represented than we do at present when it comes to legislators, insurers. You know, we're more and more often we're having a seat at the table. Yet conversely, never has there been a time in which we needed more voices there. So the OAC actually has a super advocacy 101 training session to help anybody become more comfortable, whether it's going to their state capital or the nation's capital, or just writing a letter to their legislators on what they can do to help represent individuals with obesity to have better access to care and access to treatment.
And I think one of the great things about being virtual or in person, the training that we get through the advocacy efforts, we really use any time of the year. So I know we're the Treat and Reduce Obesity Act right now, like we're still able to contact our legislators. It didn't matter that we weren't in person. I would say we were taking those skills and being able to reach out and respond to those action alerts that OAC, shares with us of how we can share our voice as members. So, and I think, when we say it changes lives, it is, the education sessions and, the experience of being in person, but really the OAC is the sum of its people, and the connections and friendships that you make are, they're unlike any other. Like, I think we liken it to summer camp, those deep friendships that you've made. And I think a lot of it has to do with, you're able to come into a space where, you get to be your authentic self much faster. When you go to maybe a professional conference with colleagues who don't know a lot about you, or maybe didn't have the same life experiences, you could be a little guarded, and you don't feel that with the OAC. I joked with Pam when we were chatting about this. I said, I think half my Facebook friend list is from the OAC. But I think that's true for all of us. That's when I'm visiting another city, I go, oh, do I know anybody? And oftentimes, I'm having lunch with fellow OAC members because we're all over the country, and now we're all over the world. So I think that stands out. The people that I've met through the OAC has been the biggest gift, and the biggest gift of convention by far.
Well, and as a healthcare professional, like I've attended lots of conferences and things over time, and being a bariatric patient, I've often joked about having travel pouch when I would come back from those, because you've just eaten so many like yucky fried appetizer-y foods, and you haven't got your activity in, and I'm not sure that folks realize what great lengths we go to make sure that whatever type of nutrition and activity plan that they are on, they're able to continue to follow that while they're at convention. I mean, a dietitian creates and reviews the menus. We always have the nutrition information available, and even paper journals where people can keep up with that. And I have never attended any conference anywhere that had the types of exercise offerings, classes, even like just keeping you refreshed, in between sessions. I always love that component.
I love with the exercise in particular is like, I don't always feel comfortable at my local gym trying a new class, but when I'm at OAC, I'm like, okay, I'm in a place where, again, I'm encouraged to be myself. And so done some, I think, a hip hop Zumba and some other classes where you probably wouldn't catch me at my local Y doing. So yeah, it's really great. And I think behind all of those exercise classes and behind all of the, the tailored like menus that we have and the agenda are really just a bunch of experts who are really passionate about connecting with patients, people affected, loved ones of people who are affected by overweight and obesity. And we really have some of the leading experts from the United States and really the world come speak about topics. And for me, over my life, like, through different life stages, I have needed different things. And I think that's true for anybody who attends convention. It's probably, if you're watching, this has been a really different year. I remember about 6 years ago, we had I was pregnant, and I was like, how do you manage weight loss, or how do you manage your weight while you're, caring for your body? And I, signed up and went to a maternal health lunch with the expert myself. So like, I think always being there, learning from really the best there is, and every aspect and every nuance of obesity. And it is a field that we know that we don't know everything, right? And so we get the latest science that's translated and easy to understand from experts. These are the names that you see on scientific papers who are standing in front of us, really breaking it down. And I, I find myself going back to slides and rewatching things or sending it to someone else. And that, for me, that sticks with me, because I know, when I talk to my healthcare provider, or when I talk to maybe a friend one-on-one, I can pull on that and feel really confident that I've learned from experts.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned the part when you were pregnant, because like I feel like we always are going to learn something new. And one of my favorite sessions ever was The Secret Life of Pets, where we learned about pet obesity. And when I first saw it, I thought, oh, this will be like a fun break. But I mean, we really got the nitty gritty science on obesity in pets. And like, it's made me so much more cognizant of what I feed my dogs and that type of thing. So it's just, you're always going to learn something new, no matter what.
Yeah. And I think, we've said it throughout. Jennifer said it, Pam said it. It is beyond the education and, the advocacy. It's really the support that you feel. And because of that, it's fun. There's social events, where, again, like, I find, if I get invited to a costume party, I might feel a little like hesitant in my day to day to be, to show up. But when you're at the OAC convention, you go, okay, yeah, I'm going to do a family costume, which we do every year. So watch out when we get back in person. But really thinking about, like, I hear our attendees say, this was the first time I've ever danced in public. And that is, like, that's a life-changing moment, and a span of 4 days in itself, when it's just moment after moment where you experience something new. But it's like, between all of the education, you're often in a new city, so you can sneak away and see something sometimes, or, meet people that you've met in sessions, and really just have that social aspect that I think we're all craving, and probably even more today. So I don't think we could probably sum it up in the 10 we tried. But I think what Pam and I have said over and over, and we've talked about, is really there's just no other place like convention. So I hope you get a taste of it virtually, and make plans if you can to join us in person next year, because you won't regret it.
Absolutely.
Well, we cannot just thank you guys. We just love sitting back and
Yes.
listening to you. Like, it was a really
It was
fun.
like a walk down memory lane for everything. Yeah.
It was, and it did miss, all those components you mentioned for our in-person meetings, which we've missed for the last couple of years. We're so excited it's going to happen again next year. And honestly, what I took away too was that a lot of the things that you all mentioned are things that still translate pretty well to the virtual environment. Those renowned experts, that if you look at the list of folks that we get to come, it's pretty unbelievable. That support and community, the fun, we still make it a lot of fun. And, Pam, you mentioned something about the pets and obesity topic. And, we have in our Friday night social event, we actually have a pet room for that. So that's another reason that you want to get after hours access to that fun party, because if you're a pet lover, you won't want to miss that. No, excellent. Thank you guys so much. And so, final words as we close, and we can't thank you enough for your time, but final words of wisdom. I think you've given everyone a good picture of convention. Last words for our viewers at home.
Register. Go register. I threw that challenge out in the chat. You can go register right now and get back and not even miss anything from the broadcast. So get signed up, do a challenge, like post the link on your social media and challenge 10 people to register. So Amber, anything?
I would say show up with an open mind, be ready to learn, and then try to bring somebody with you. I think that is, the OAC community is about bringing people in. And so once you've committed yourself from Pam's challenge, I want you to grab the hand of someone else and get them to come along and join our community too, because there's so much to learn, and we're ready to meet you.
Can't think of any way to end it. Thank you guys
Thank
so
you
much.
very much.
We can't wait to see you online this weekend. Thank you for everything, your service to what you made convention.
Yes.
Mwah.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
You know, Christy, I think convention is just one of those events that if you've never attended it and you do attend it, they said it's life-changing, right? It changes lives. And you can really see that today, even in the chat with the
Yeah.
questions and the comments. Kevin says you can turn convention into a mini vacation.
Many do.
Jean asked, will the OAC continue virtual along with in-person for the conferences? That would be beneficial for those that can't afford to travel.
Yeah, we know this virtual world is here to stay in some form, so we are committed to kind of hosting two options in the future. We're not sure what it looks like, but we know that that's a definite need that we want to respond to. I also love the fact that Deb shared that after her first convention, she thought she'd be one and done, but she was wrong and she's been back every year. So we hear that quite often. And then also Elizabeth, who received a scholarship her first year when she was in between jobs, and then she's been back and able to give beyond that after that. So it's just so powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we have a couple closing comments today. I don't think it's going to come as a surprise. You've heard from Pam, you've heard from Amber, you heard from Jennifer, you're talking in the chat. If you're watching this right now and you have not registered yet for the convention, go on over to ywmconvention.com. It's free to register, $50 for the full convention registration, which comes with a ton of stuff. As Christy went over in the virtual event platform, you can watch everything on your own time. So at this point, there's no excuse not to register for this meeting. There is none.
Encourage others. And the other point is that we are making is that it has been 10 years of great conventions. The scholarship program you heard folks talk about and had those testimonies there. So now's a great other challenge to go to the convention scholarship fund page and donate $10 in honor of 10 years. I think that would be a remarkable way to keep the spirit alive for us to be able to have those in-person meetings and let as many people attend, because we know it's tough. But appreciate your generosity for the donation for the scholarship program.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about all the great things that people can do for convention. We covered it. You can register for it. You can donate to it. You can ask 10 people to attend with you.
Lots to do.
So there's a lot of 10 things to do. I think that's really the essence of what today has been all about. But it's not over yet.
No.
This is the time that everybody waits for, right? This is why you
Ta-da.
watch to the end. It's giveaway time. So we have 4 giveaways again to do today. We have 2 convention registrations, 2 connect with the experts. Let's do one and then one and then one and then the other.
All right, I'll go first.
Okay.
So with our first Connect with the Experts ticket, we are awarding it to Lorraine Raymond. I hope I pronounced that. Congratulations, Lorraine. We'll connect with you to get your information.
And the first winner of our convention registration is Debbie, I hope I'm saying this correctly, Debbie Yeoman?
That's a full convention registration.
It's a full convention registration, so look forward to that coming to you soon.
And the other Connect with the Experts ticket is going to go to Deborah Ann. Congratulations, Deborah Ann.
And then our last giveaway for today, another full convention registration will be going to Carol Joseph. So we'll reach out to all of you in the chat or via social, get that information, get you your giveaway items. Again, I mean, there's so many reasons to be a part of this meeting.
Well, we want to appreciate everyone who stuck around towards the end. It's a little longer than usual. Lots to celebrate, lots to look forward to this weekend. We will stay tuned for the next broadcast that's going to be happening next month. And with that, I think everyone knows what to do from here. So I don't think we need to say it anymore, that we'll look forward to seeing you online this weekend and throughout the next week and the following weekend as well. And with that, I think we're going to close. But we have a special video to show you to kind of solidify your decision.
We'll see you soon. See you this weekend.
Take care.
Bye.